Hey guys, welcome. This is Ned with another video for you guys today. We're going to be going over two different things today. The first thing we're going to be going over is some different unique ways to defeat Sparky. And the second thing we're going to be going over today is how much knowing your deck and knowing how to use your deck can have an effect on how well you play. So as you can see, you see the Baron Ned here has 3,100 trophies, almost 3,200, while Argus has about 1,500 trophies. Yet, Argus has won 2 out of these 3 games. Now, I will say that this deck that I've used for Baron Ned is not the best deck ever, but it is not a terrible deck either. And if you look at the card levels as well, you'll see that all of Baron Ned's cards, my cards, are significantly higher than Argus's. They're all at least a level, some of them 2 levels higher. So we're going to go over how card levels don't necessarily mean you're going to lose. And really what you need to be focusing on isn't how strong your cards are, but how well you play the cards that you have. So actually what happened was I played with Argus's phone. So those of you who actually have watched my stream or my YouTube videos know that Argus is my little brother-in-law. So I'll use him a lot for some of my specific videos that I have. And I kind of did the same thing here. And I just kind of wanted to show this to you. And, hopefully this will show you guys that it's not important that you have the best cards. It's important that you have the best group of cards and you play them to the best of their ability. So, anyways, and part of this also is going to be how to deal with Sparky. He doesn't use Sparky too well until the very last game when he does beat me, and we're going to go over that. And the deck that Argus uses, or the deck that we have for Argus, is not necessarily the best way to deal with Sparky either. And again, I'm playing with Argus, and Argus is actually using my deck. So, anyways, it was a pretty fun thing to do. Every now and then, if you guys have friends and you guys are in the same clan, do it. Just, and then you can also show each other how you all play with your decks, and it might teach you something, and you might learn something. So that was his first dropping of Sparky, and we used the Skeleton Army, which was a very effective way of neutralizing Sparky. Another pretty effective way that I've used to neutralize Sparky is the Giant Skeleton. Now you kind of have to be careful with that Giant Skeleton, because sometimes when you use the Giant Skeleton, Sparky doesn't go over the bomb once the Giant Skeleton's been killed. However, that bomb can do a lot of damage to Sparky. And it's a really cool card. I like it. So I'm just going for... Argus is going for the push, and I'm trying to win. So anyways, I'm going to speed these up a little bit and just kind of show you. I end up winning this game. And this is something, that I'm going to start... they just are going to be doing a buff with the X-Bow. And I think that this is going to be one of the best things to do with the X-Bow, is using it defensively. I don't know if using it offensively like it used to be used for is necessarily going to be the best option, but I think that defensively it's quite the gem and really, really good. So some really good tools you can use for Sparky is Fireball. Does pretty well against Sparky. It won't kill it, but Fireball and arrows will typically kill it. At my level, I have level... I gotta think real quick. I have level 7 Fireball and level 9 arrows, and that will kill a Sparky. Another good thing to note, While Tesla does not have this effect, ironically, I think it should because it's electric. Lightning Spell and Zap Spell will both reset the charge of Sparky, which is something a lot of people don't really know. So at this point, Argus has decided to use Sparky in the manner it should be, which is following a giant or golem or something like that. So oftentimes you really want to use Sparky behind something like a giant. So a really good tactic to use is let the giant get close up and then place the minion horde in between or right behind Sparky. Sparky doesn't have a whole lot of health, so I'm blanking today, guys. It's my day off and I am really tired. But anyways, sorry about that. The minion horde will take out a Sparky very, very quickly. And I also have things like skeletons and things like that, and they'll soak up the first damage so they don't hit the tower. And then I'll use spear goblins or something like that to kill the giant. Another really good thing that you can do is, alright, let's go to the next game, is use Prince or the little guards, because they have the shield, right? So that shield will actually protect them for that first hit. So one of my decks, I use a Dark Prince and Prince combo, and that Dark Prince, you can do as much damage as you want with that first hit from a Prince or from a P.E.K.K.A. It doesn't matter because it just takes away the shield, and the Dark Prince can still attack. So that's a really good tactic to use. Another good tactic that might be good would be using Furnace against it, because when it goes to kill something else, those furnaces are going to keep spawning those fire spirits and killing it, and things of that nature. So, they're all just kind of different things to think about. Furnace is a pretty cool card, and now that it's getting a buff, we'll probably be seeing it more often as well, especially following a tank, because usually when you have a tank, you place a lot of little troops around to kill the tank. So with the area damage that it does, I think it would be a very valuable card for for y'all to use on a daily basis. This game I use a different deck, Argus's spam deck, and it didn't really do too well, so Argus managed to beat me this time, but that's okay. I'm actually going to go back to the second video we showed and discuss some things that you can do that will help make you a better player. And I'll just keep on talking in the meantime about ways to defeat Sparky until then. Another tactic I used was I would use a really big tank to soak it up. So here we'll see what the bomb does. See, that bomb took from that skeleton giant, took it out real quick. But if you use the golem breaks apart and then splits up as well, and then kind of holds Sparky in place. So that's a pretty good way to keep Sparky neutralized, which is what you want to do. This deck just could not beat him. So anyways, let me look at all my cards, and then we will go over some good options for Sparky. Poison is a good option because it slows him down, and oftentimes they'll have some support troops behind Sparky, so it'll be like a giant, Sparky, and then throwing some of these guys behind him. So if you have a poison type spell, especially, it'll really help with neutralizing the support troops for the Sparky, so he doesn't get too distracted. Things like the guard, the Dark Prince are excellent. Oftentimes with the support troops, I'll use the Valkyrie because it's it has a pretty good health, and it takes out the support troops and gets a few hits down on Sparky before it finally dies. Dragon, anything that flies is really good against Sparky because Sparky is only against ground. Minions are a good budget option if you're like have a high mana cost and you don't want to use the minion horde. So those are all some pretty good options. Fire spirits might be good, but you know, really the thing is you have to use small troops like this, or like goblins, or even spear goblins. I love my spear goblins. If you watch my videos, you know I love my spear goblins. But I'll use my spear goblins just because they're cheap, and it takes Sparky. Let's look at this info real quick. It takes Sparky 5 seconds in between hits. So if you let it hit, right, something like goblins, then you can place something like a Valkyrie that's going to do a significant amount of damage to it right in the middle of it and all the troops, because it takes so long for it to charge up, and then finish it off with arrows or a fireball or something like that. Guards are a good thing if you have guards. I think you have to be like, what, Arena 7 or 8 for guards. But guards are a good option because you can drop them around Sparky, and all it's going to do is take away the shield, and then you'll have 3 skeletons hitting away. So, you know, that's always a good option as well. So those are kind of some different ways of dealing with Sparky. I really wish that if Tesla reset Sparky every time it hit it, that would be so unreal, because Zap and Lightning do the same thing. Lightning, however, doesn't really... I found that unless you're using Lightning on the Crown Tower too, it just doesn't feel like it does the damage. I don't feel like it's worth it. You have 864 damage. Level 2 Sparky has 1320 hit points. So let's see the Rocket. The Rocket does 1232. So I think at a level 1 Sparky, a level 7 Rocket will kill it. So if you have a level 7 Rocket, that might be a good option as well. But I like to use the Fireball because it's a lot cheaper, and the Fireball will typically kill the troops surrounding it as well. So I'll use a Fireball just to kind of weaken everything if there's barbs around it, and then I'll drop my Valkyrie there as well. So I mean, there's a lot of different options. You can use that poison spell. This will do 555 damage actually for the level 4 poison. So poison would be a really good option as well. The only thing I like about Fireball more than poison is it's got more of an immediate effect. So I can do Fireball and then Valkyrie rather than wait for the poison to have its effect on the surrounding troops. So a lot of different options, but those are just some unique ways to kind of deal with Sparky. So now we are going to look at one of these videos. I think we'll do this one because Argus took one of my towers from me, and he knew also, because the first time I guess he hadn't fought Sparky before, so he didn't know that a lot of people would go giant than Sparky. So you know, I kind of told him a few pointers, and then we played again. So one thing I do, you'll notice, is I don't waste my elixir. I place a troop out right away. I'll usually place a pretty inconsequential troop to start with. You know, so you'll see I use that zap just to kind of stop it, and then I used the X-bow defensively. I really like that X-bow as a defensive measure. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. But anyways, so I don't like wasting the elixir to start with. I'll try and play something like Spear Goblins, or maybe a Musketeer if you have it, or maybe a big tank, you know. Just place it at the back, let it slowly make its way up. Worst case scenario, they kill the tank, especially if you have a giant skeleton. You don't care if they kill it, because it's going to kill everything up as they move forward as well. So you can place that and then kind of see what they do. You don't have to place it and then follow all your troops up unless you have like a specific killer combo. But anyway, so you'll see right there how I used, you know, some of those troops defensively, and part of that's knowing how you're going to, you know, defend different things. So that one I wasn't able to do it the way I wanted to. He was able to get that first tower from a really good push. And again, you'll see me using that X-bow defensively. I think that with this new change, this is the way you should use the X-Bow. Throw it down, use it defensively. It's got a pretty good lifespan. It's got an amazing range. You can place it behind your tower if you want. You can place it in the middle like I did. You can do a myriad of different things. And it's just a fantastic, fantastic idea. So, again, this is all about knowing how to use your troops. And so now I think that I kind of have an elixir advantage over Argus. So I decided to place that X-Bow offensively and just go to town. And again, you see he's got that giant and Sparky. And so I use those skeletons to take it out. And then I place my Valkyrie there to start doing some damage along with some more skeletons. It takes some time, but you'll see how just placing that 1 mana troop will buy you 5 more seconds to effectively defeat that troop. So he's got that giant coming now, and we don't really like that, and so we have to spark those guys and then try and survive it. And he manages to keep it alive with just 58 health, but you know, that is what it is. And keep in mind, a lot of this me winning has to do with elixir advantage. The deck he's using is, I'll admit, not the best deck, but a lot of times people assume that because you have, you know, all these high level cards, you're going to win. But that's not necessarily the case. You need a good deck, you need something that's going to be reliable, something that's going to be good, and all that fun jazz. So, and again, Skeleton Army, if you are going up against that, is a really good counter to the Sparky. Skeleton Army was, and I was really surprised. I did not know it was going to be that good of a counter to it. So that was really cool. And here I'm just waiting until I get my zap back, because that zap is going to help me win. And there we go, I win. So just keep in mind that just because you don't have necessarily the highest level cards, be confident that your deck might be better, and that you know your cards that you play. I've used this deck that I have right here, which is one of my main battle decks, for quite a while. This one here, this is the one that I've been using this specific deck with minute changes for a month and a half now, and it's still perfectly viable. Prince is about to be buffed. I'm hoping I can get that up to level 5 as well. Hog Rider is going to be nerfed, but I think that that's a well-deserved nerf. But, you know, so I know I have a good deck. I know that it can do well. And so I stick with it. Just because you go on a losing streak doesn't mean you need to change your decks. This is the other one I've been using. Since I got Lava Hound, I started using this. Sorry for the whining. I'm waiting to pick up my wife from work while I do this video. And we're going to take the dogs to the park, and the dogs are getting kind of antsy, getting kind of bored. So anyways, but this is one I made after I really got the Lava Hound, and it's been a really good deck. It's kind of an all-or-nothing deck. It's not very offensive, but it does a lot of really good work. And then this is the one that Argus was using while he used my account, just to kind of show you that levels are not the end-all of this game. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you were able to learn something from this video. Learning how to use your deck is very important. Making sure you use it properly and knowing how to counter different threats is a very, very big deal. So if you go up an arena and you're all of a sudden getting these new cards, ask the more senior guys in your clan, hey, how do you counter this? How do you counter that? If you're one of my clanmates watching these, you know I'm always willing to help. Always willing to tell you guys how to do stuff, how to help you out. You know, I'm always willing to help out. So let me know. Leave a comment. If you have any questions on, you know, matchups you're not sure about, or different ways to counter different things, leave it in the comments. I'll shoot you an answer, maybe even do a video on it later, and we'll go from there. But like it, comment, let me know what you think, and y'all have a great day. Thanks again for watching.